The Merdeka Palace is one of 6 presidential palaces in Indonesia. It is located on the north side of the Merdeka Square in Central Jakarta, Indonesia, and is used as the official residence of the President of the Republic of Indonesia. The palace was a residence for the Governor-General of the Dutch East Indies during the colonial era. In 1949, the palace was renamed Merdeka Palace, Merdeka meaning freedom or independence. The Merdeka Palace is part of the 6.8 hectares Jakarta Presidential Palace Complex, which also includes the Negara Palace, Wisma Negara, Secretariat Negara, and Abhina Graha building. It is the center of the Indonesian Executive Authority. History. Negara Palace. The history of the Merdeka Palace starts with the mansion of merchant Jacob Andries van Braam, built in Rijswijk in 1804. The estate was purchased by the government of Dutch East Indies to house the administration and council meetings. Merdeka Palace. During the mid-19th century, the Rijswijk Palace no longer sufficed for administrative purposes. Thus Governor-General Peter Meyer ordered the construction of a new palace in 1869. Construction started later on 23 March 1873 under Governor-General James Loudon's administration. The Neo Palladian Palace was designed by Jacobus Bartholomeus Drossaers, and was built by the Department of Public Works and the contracting firm Drossaers and Amp Company at a cost of £360,000. The new building was built in southern part of the Rijswijk Palace grounds, directly facing Koningsplein. The palace was finished in 1879 during Governor-General Johan Wilhelm van Lansberg's administration. This new palace was also known as Istana Gambir. During the Japanese occupation of Indonesia, the Psychoshikikan of the Japanese garrison resided in the Rijswijk Palace compound. The Indonesian National Revolution ended with the Netherlands' recognition of the Republic of Indonesia. The Indonesian Declaration of Independence from the Dutch in 1949 was announced in Gambir Palace. During the ceremony, the Dutch flag was substituted with the flag of Indonesia. Many spectators were rejoicing when the flag was hoisted, and yelled Merdeka! For that moment, Gambir Palace became known as Merdeka Palace. On December 27, 1949, a day after the ceremony, President Sukarno and his family arrived from Yogyakarta. For the first time, the President of the Republic of Indonesia settled in Merdeka Palace. The first annual Independence Day ceremony was held at the Merdeka Palace in 1950. Since its construction, 15 governor-generals, 3 Japanese commanders, and 1 Indonesian president have taken residence in the Merdeka Palace. Evolution of the Merdeka Palace. The building has remained unchanged since the building was finished in 1879. After the Indonesian independence, the Merdeka Palace compound was expanded to include not only Istana Negara, but also to construct Wisma Negara, Secretariat Negara, and Abhina Graha. Several colonial buildings and residences were demolished in the Welterden area to make way for today's State Palace compound. A small octagonal gazebo located in the courtyard of the palace was used as private school for Sukarno's and the palace staff's children. This gazebo was previously used by Dutch colonial officials as Muziekopel, where music performances were played during formal balls. When Suharto became President of Indonesia, he made changes to the previously residential function of the palace. Sukarno's bedroom was converted into Ruang Bendera Pustaka, and the room of Sukarno's wife Fatmawati became the president's bedroom. An old wooden building in the palace complex known as Sangha was demolished to make way for the Puri Bakti Ranatama building, and was was used as a museum to store valuable artifacts, artwork and gifts from foreign emissaries. Later he also built the Binagraha building on the palace grounds, which he used as his office. When Megawati took office, she had the Puri Bhakti Ranatama building converted into the president's office, while its contents moved to Binagraha building. She also restored the furniture and decorations of the palace back to the way it was under Sukarno. Suharto's Jepara wood carving furniture was removed, with the exception of the ruined Jepara, and replaced with the old colonial refurbishment. The Merdeka Palace now. The Merdeka Palace serves as an official venue for state events such as the Independence Day ceremony, welcoming dignitaries, cabinet meetings, state banquets and reception of letters of credence from foreign ambassadors. Additionally, it still contains the president's private quarters and offices. The administrative role that the palace once had has been shifted to the State Palace and State Secretariat, while the Merdeka Palace remains a symbol of authority. Layout of the palace. A 17 meters tall flagpole and a fountain are located on the front lawn of the Merdeka Palace. The annual flag-raising ceremony takes place during the Indonesian Independence Day on August 17. During the independence ceremony, the veranda is often used as a ceremonial stage for the president and dignitaries. Notable rooms in the palace include: Ruang Credential provides entrance to the palace and is the place where most diplomatic activities are conducted, such as receiving state guests and ambassadors. The Credential Hall is decorated with furniture that dates back to the colonial days, as well as paintings and ceramic works. Ruang Jepara was a former study room of Sukarno, and named after the central Javanese town of Jepara. Source of the room's carved wooden furniture and ornaments. Ruang Radensala is located in front of Ruang Jepara. The room was previously used as the First Lady's office and living room. Megawati used the room to store 5 paintings by Indonesian painter Radensala. Ruang Resepsi is the largest room of the palace. It is usually used for state banquets, state gala dinners, national meetings, and cultural performances. There are 2 paintings of Basuki Abdullah. On the eastern wall hangs Pergila Perjawati, a painting theme from Mahabharata, and on the west wall hangs the Javanese Jaktarub painting. Ruang Bendera Pusaka, or Regalia Room. The room is used to store Bendera Pusaka, the first Indonesian flag that was raised during Indonesian Declaration of Independence on the 17th of August 1945. The presidents after Sukarno no longer use the palace as a residence, although it is still the official presidential residence. The palace's offices are still in use by the current Indonesian president. During the Suharto administration, Suharto preferred to reside in his own house at Jalan Cendana, Menteng, while the palace and Binagraha only served as his office. The palace once again became the official presidential residence during the Abdurrahman Wafid and Megawati administrations. Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono sometimes resides in Merdeka Palace. However, just like Suharto, he often prefers to reside in his own house at Puri Sikias, suburb south of Jakarta.